Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week we're starting off a slightly bigger list. How big? Well, 30. Well, technically 30 plus. I have 32 notes on this list, so this will get broken down into 3 segments. And, well, what is the list? These are the top 32 notes from the top 100 that I own. Yeah, the top 100. You remember the book, 100 Greatest Currency Notes of All Time, as I can almost get it in there. There we go. 100 Greatest American Currency Notes. And of course, we all know that one is number 1, and it's millions of dollars, so will not be in my collection. But it's always fun to see how many of these you can collect. There are a number of notes that are just impossible, like the Grand Watermelon. There are a number of notes that are unique, that aren't even rated that high. But there are also a number of notes whose prices are just ridiculous. Makes it kind of unfair, because you can't collect. If 2 people were trying to collect the top 100, they can't, because there are certain notes that are only one of. So maybe someone should do something about that. Maybe someone should come up with a top 100 notes that you can collect. I'll save that for another video. Anyway, like I said, this series, we're going to do the top 32 of the top 100 that I actually own. And since there are 32, this week you get 2 honorable mentions. So let's get started. Honorable mention number 1, and boy, does it pain me to do this. This is a $1,000 bill. $1,000 bill is particularly on a series of 1934A. These sell for $3 to $4 grand without a problem. It's hard to believe that a $1,000 bill that sells for that much money only gets an honorable mention on this list. The reason for that is because it's number 99 of the top 100. So yeah, $1,000 bill. You can see the price has gone up significantly since I bought mine. But anyway, number 99, or number 32 on my list, this one is a $1,000 bill, small size, of course. And there are roughly, between 7 and 11,000 of these still floating around. So yeah, I'm not going to go through value on all of these notes, but I will try to tell you how many are left. So that one is honorable mention number 1, number 12 this week, and number 99 overall. Honorable mention number 2, bill number 11. This is a 1922 $10 gold certificate. The $10 gold certificate, you can see I always call it my Charlie Brown note. I know it's not Charlie Brown. That's Michael Hillegas. And I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just my eyes being very bad. His hairline tends to blend in with his forehead. I see Charlie Brown. It has the goldfish orange back, which is always impressive. And as far as $10 gold certificates go, this one is number 98 on the list. And there are roughly 3,000 to 4,000 of these still floating around. So that one is number 11 this week. Number 10, we finally get to this week's top 10. It is number 30 on the list. It is an 1862 $2 legal tender. The $2 legal tender, this one is number 88 out of the top 100. And I was always fascinated by this because this is the very first series of legal tenders that the government ever put out. The cool part is this minor little security feature right here, which shows the numbers 1, the number 2, and the number 3. And you'll see, of course, this is a $2 bill, so the 2 is highlighted. On the $1 bill, the 1 is circled. And since there is a 3, that certainly does imply that they were going to make a $3 bill. But they never did. That is the back right there. Like I said, for this one, it's number 30, and it's number 88 on the official list. There's roughly 1,000 to 1,500 of these still available. That one, like I said, number 30. Number 29. This is one of the rarest notes that you can get, okay? I was stunned when I was writing down the rarities on the notes, and it turns out that 2 of the top 3 rare notes are actually going to be in this particular list. This is the rarest one, and you probably aren't going to guess it. This is the $10 Dix note, the Citizens Bank of Louisiana. This is the note that gave the South the nickname Dixie, and that is because on the back they wrote 10 in French, which is DIX. All the traders that were going down the Mississippi down to Louisiana wanted to get reputable notes. They wanted to turn all of their merchandise into cash. They wanted to get these notes, and what did they call these notes with the funny name on the back? Well, they called them Dixies. Where do you go to get Dixies? To Dixieland. So that's the story behind this note. But according to the book of 100 Greatest American Currency Notes, there are only between 200 and 400 of these circulating right now. So that's rare. In fact, this is the rarest note on the list that I own. I would have never guessed only 200 to 400 of these. So yeah, if you can spot one, if you can find one, grab it before everybody else watches this video and discovers how rare they are. This one, number 29 for the week, and it's number 86 overall. Number 28. This is the $10 Tombstone note. Tombstone note's a $10 silver certificate from 1886, series 18. This one's series 1891. 1891 Tombstone. This one features Vice President Hendricks, who died in office in 1885. That's why he ended up being put on the 1886 note, called the Tombstone note because of the way that Vice President Hendricks is framed on there. This one is one of the red seals, and if you look at the back, this one, like I said, is 1891, so you can see they did add a lot more of the white in the background like that. This particular note, number 28 on my list, there are between 2,000 and 3,000 of these still available, and this one is number 85 out of the top 100. So that's number 28. Number 27. This is a $1 1891 Treasury note, the Stanton note. Stanton, famous for being the Secretary of War under Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. He is also on the 50-cent fractional that replaced Lincoln as well, so he does make a couple appearances. This particular note here, like I said, is 1891, and it is a Treasury note. So you'll notice it says $1 in coin, which means the Treasury was backing this note, but not with a specific metal. It wasn't necessarily gold, it wasn't necessarily silver, it was just in coin in general. The $1 Treasury note, this one, like I said, 1891, has more white on it on the back. And on the list, this one is number 83. This is part of the series that has the Grand Watermelon. So that's where this note came from. So this is probably as close to a Grand Watermelon as I'll ever get, because, well, it's the same series. Anyway, the Stanton note, there's between 900 and 1,300 of these floating around. So if you can get a hold of one, good luck to you. So like I said, number 27 on my list, number 83 overall, the $1 Treasury note featuring Stanton. Number 26 this week. This, I know it's in rough shape, is a $1 silver certificate. This is a North Africa emergency currency from World War II. The North Africa notes had the yellow seal on here. They were silver certificates, so you get the blue numbers, you get the yellow seal, you get the green on the back. Awful lot of color on these. Now, this particular note isn't in the greatest of shape, but that's okay, because this particular note is a star note. You can find these in a lot better condition for a lot less, but I did want to get a star, and I had to pay up for this, even though the condition isn't the greatest. There just aren't that many of these around. The North Africa note, as far as the non-star notes, there are many thousands of these. That's exactly how the book puts it, many thousands of notes. Very familiar back on this, of course. These start off about 40 bucks or so. Pretty impressive that you can get one of the top 100 notes that cheap. This one is number 26 on my list, and according to the top 100, this is number 77. Number 25, we are going with the Jackass note. $10 1880 legal tender, the Jackass note. This one is in decent shape. Features Daniel Webster on it. It is called the Jackass note because of that eagle right there. Because if you take that picture of the eagle and you rotate it, it becomes a donkey. You can see the white muzzle, you can see the eye, you can see the ear, you can see his mane. Yeah, that's a donkey. So on a donkey in 1880, that was known as a Jackass. This became known as the Jackass note. When I first heard that story and saw that little image being able to do that, I ran out and got this note immediately. The Jackass note number 25 on my list, there are roughly, what is it? It says 4,200 to 5,600 of these floating around. And this is number 71 overall out of the top 100. That one is number 25. Number 24. This is from 1900. You guys have heard me tell the story of this. It's the $10,000 gold certificate. This one was part of the fire in 1935 and was thrown out of a window. You can see this one actually still has fire damage on it. And to me, that just makes this note that much cooler. Features Andrew Jackson. If I hold it up right, you can see it has been canceled. That's why it's no longer worth face value. What else do we got on here? You can see here, Act of 1900. It's just cool to see $10,000 like that. $10,000 here, you got the seal on it. Now, like I said, these aren't worth face value anymore, but this is one of the rarest notes that you're going to find. I told you about the Dixie note having only 200 to 400. This one is just slightly more than that. This one, you're talking between 300 and 500 of these available. So that one is number 24 on my list. According to the top 100, this one pins out at number 69. Number 23 is the mini porthole. The mini porthole features George Washington on a $2 bill. This particular one is from 1899. When the notes are in really nice shape, the blue just screams on that numeral right there. I mean, this one you can still see it's in really good shape, the numeral. The note itself, not so much. This one even has the standard bad luck tear. They believed $2 bills were bad luck for a number of different reasons, and the way to break the bad luck was to tear a corner off and spend the note. And as people would continue spending, other people would tear off other corners. And they said that as soon as all four corners were tore off, that would break the curse of bad luck. Thing is, you'd never know when all four corners were tore off, and realistically what would happen is when you have a note that's all tore up like that, it'll get sent back to the reserve, and they will just shred it. This one, the mini porthole number 23 on my list, there are between 2,500 and 4,000 of these, and this one is number 67 on the list. Number 22. Number 22 is another emergency currency from World War II, but this one is the Hawaii note. The Hawaii note, I know this one, once again, like my North Africa, isn't in the greatest of condition, but this one is a star note. So I wanted to get me the star note of both the Hawaii and the North Africa. The Hawaii note ranks higher on the list as far as the top 100. They still list as many thousands of these available. Not the stars, but the Hawaii notes in general. So once again, this is another note that can be acquired for as little as $40 to $60. The Hawaii note is number 22 on my list. And of the top 100, this one is number 65. And finally this week, number 21 on my list. This is a fractional currency. This particular one happens to be the specimen. This is fractional currency from the Civil War. And this features Spinner, F.E. Spinner, was the Secretary of the Treasury, and he was the treasurer, and he decided that he was going to put himself on the note. And what makes this so cool is that's him, and that's his signature, because the treasurer also has their signature on it. Now, this particular note, this is what the note looked like, but this particular note happens to be a specimen. You don't need the specimen to have it qualify as the top 100, but this one being the specimen, that's his actual signature. He autographed this note. So it's not just a printed version, but the real thing. One of the other cool things about this is you can see this pattern right here and this pattern right here. Those patterns were actually duplicated here and here in glue, and then a bronzing powder was used. Very messy in the production, but as you zoom in, you can see that's bronzing powder over glue. And the Register of the Treasury also signed this note here. So this one is autographed by both of these people. Real autographs on this one. But you don't need this exact note. The regular issue note, there are roughly, how many is it? 5,000 to 10,000 of the spinner notes available. Obviously, not all of them have his actual signature, but that's why I wanted to use it. Number 21 on my list, and number 51 out of the top 100. All right, so that's part 1. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.